So here's what DHS told me. We're doing targeted enforcement. They would have to have reasonable suspicion.
Okay,
Fourth
stop.
Amendment, if it's a
We're-
casual
we're-
encounter.
we're
What was the
aware-
reasonable suspicion?
All right, so.
I don't know.
I've heard this so many times before.
Hold on a second.
Hold on a
second. I'm aware that obviously DHS is not gonna admit to a constitutional violation, but they're being sued in court over not just
By who? The
incidents.
ACLU?
They're being sued by American citizens over what they're calling illegal stops.
We'll see
So,
if the,
so
we'll see if the
stop.
ACLU is
So
any
let
better
me
while
ask-
you're
so
over
let
this
me
and
ask
we'll
you,
overtrain
Scott.
from sports this week.
There
I
are
doubt it.
documented cases of American citizens being harassed by ICE.
Yeah.
Of non-citizens being stopped randomly, simply based on maybe they have an accent, maybe they happen to be in a particular place, like near an airport, working for Uber. And at the very least, it raises questions about whether people's constitutional rights are being violated. And if that is the case, isn't it justified for Americans to be concerned about that?
So according to the reporting, there have been 170 American citizens who have been detained for some period of time during this period in which they have deported about 660,000 illegal aliens. That's about a 99.9997% success rate. If any other government agency got stuff that right that often, we'd be throwing them a ticker tape parade.
It sounded very Herman Cain right now. That's not the point. The principle is not, first of all, it's not even just the people who are detained, it's the people who are stopped and questioned. That is also a violation of your rights because you should not have the authorities stopping individual people just because you're in the proximity of where they're doing their
They
work.
have reasonable
That's what they said to you. That's what they said to you. That doesn't make it true. That doesn't make it true. And then you said earlier we can't look to the Russian example. We don't have to look to the Russian example. We have a history in this country of people having to stop and show papers, and it was outrageous even then. And we could go from enslavement.
You don't like it,
we
then
go
people
from
to get rid of the
enslavement
1940
forward.
law in the INA.
We can go for enslavement, but it goes before that.
All right.
Enslavement is before that.
You gave about getting pulled over. Well, that's reasonable suspicion. They can ask you for your ID. You're walking down the street or you're protesting, exercising your First Amendment right. Republicans love the Second Amendment, but what about the First? Okay? The First Amendment right to protest. This president thinks every protester is an insurrectionist. And I think that the American people see through it now.
Do you know
and they are coming for him in November, Scott.
Do you know anything
in
about?
a big way.
Do you know anything about that lady's case? Do you know anything about the suspicion they may have had? And we already found out they didn't detain her at all. She
Well,
had
they
a
must
brief
have had
encounter.
none if she wasn't detained.
So
Well,
you're
I
very
actually
worked
think
up about
that
a
is-
situation in which a woman answered
But
questions
Scott,
for 10
that is
seconds.
actually exactly the point, is that if ICE agents had a legitimate reason to stop and detain her, they would have done it. Whether she
They didn't
proclaimed her
detain her.
innocent.
They asked her a
Right,
question.
exactly. So that's,
But
hold on.
they let her go.
That is exactly my point. They let her go because they did not have a reason to stop
No,
her.
they realized
You know,
that's
no,
what
it's-
what's
they
they
realized
realized.
what?
When you have reasonable suspicion
they
and you do a few
realized-
questions,
they
then you
realized
realize,
what?
okay, you know what? Then
She's
this
good.
is actually not what I thought of it.
You know what that was? That sounds like stop and frisk with the president said he was going to bring to a national scale. That is exactly what
How
this
many
is.
races
It's a stop and frisk.
You got uniformed guys with masks on saying papers, please. In America.
Right, because of the laws.
Get ready for every commercial.
You also know that Antifa wears masks, right? When they burn down
what is
the
that?
And they should
What is
have.
Antifa?
Right.
What is Antifa?
So should the government be like Antifa? Is that what you're
What
saying?
is
nothing like
Federalist
Antifa.
society.
I would like you to explain what Antifa is. How many people are in Antifa? What is Antifa? Who's the leader of Antifa?
What is that?
Where's the organization? Where's it founded? Where's it headquartered? What is Antifa?
That's actually a great question.
You
I
have
wish the
no
Trump-
idea what you're
and I wish
talking
the
about.
Trump
As you
administration
told me
would do the
before, maybe you should
investigation.
stop that before and hush
Antifa
your mouth.
literally targeted the ICE agents
That's
in
what she
July.
said. That's what she said to me.
They
Okay.
literally
She said that
targeted
to me
the ICE
earlier.
facility in July. That's
Take a quick
Antifa. They were
break.
charged.
Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back on the other side.
This